Okay, let's learn how to do that cut step by step. So in today's video, we're cutting the curls off and we're giving my man here a drop fade. You probably recognize him from the first video I did, how to do a drop fade, Ezekiel Elliott edition. So today we're cutting the curls off. So we're going to start by doing the U shape in the back of the head. Keep it low below the occipital bone so it can give that drop look. And once I create the U in the back, I'm going to continue to bald out very close to the ear. So I'm going to follow the temple line, follow the head line all the way around. So just watch, I stay real low, and I just follow the perimeter of the edge up all the way around till I get to the front and keep it on the lower part of the temple. That's pretty much how I bald it to give it a nice drop look. And as you watch the video, you're going to see that I'm going to only cut down one half of the head first, just so I can give you guys more of a dramatic experience so you can see the before and after. I'm only going to show one full side tutorial, just because it took time, I don't want to make the tutorial too long, so I already like about 20 minutes or so, something like that. I'm also going to show you the beard, how I did the beard, so I want to give you guys some pretty good details on what I did and how I did it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. I would really love it if I could, get some of those subscribers, you guys. And I appreciate you watching, so you can just watch from here. Once I get through balding, I'll come back and tell you the next step. Okay, now that we have the head bald, we have our line in, I'm about to put a 3.5 on first, just to knock those curls down. I'm eventually going to get it down to a 2, but I'm going to start with a 3.5 just to give it a nice smooth look. With the hair being so long, if you start with a really small guard, it can gap the hair or give you unnecessary spacing in the head that you don't want. So you start with a bigger guard, just like a tip you can use, and then you take it down after that to the length that you would like it. So let's knock these curls off, man. He didn't have this style for, he just graduated college, man. He ran track in school. His name was Isaiah. So he graduated this year. Congratulations to him. So he's cutting them off. But another tip, after I get through cutting down, when I finish the haircut, you come back with a warm rag, and then it help lay that hair down so you can give it a smooth look to finish the cut up. But I'll show you guys at the very end. So I'm putting a 3.5 on first, and I'm coming back with a 2 to cut it down. Okay, so the next step, we're going to take our Andes Masters and we'll put our second line in. The first line is to blend the bald into the hair, and then to blend that fade into the haircut itself. So I'm opening my Masters all the way up to put my first line in, my secondary line in. I'm going to follow the same lines I did with the bald, so basically tracing. And after I put that line in, I'm going to come back with my Andes, my Walls Magic Clip to take that line out. And so I can't give you an exact lever preference, but it's basically just variation. You figure out what levers you're comfortable with, and whenever I put the line in with, I'm gonna come back and take the line out with. So as you can see here, I'm starting with my magic clip all the way open, just to lighten up my workspace. Note to self, whenever you're doing a fade, always start with the biggest level first, just to clear your workspace. And when I mean clear your workspace is, you don't want to start with a very low level first, because you can make another unnecessary line, and you don't want to make your job harder. So what you do is, I thin out the bulk. And I use that term because, like I said on the top, I always start with the biggest guard because it's safer. I guess you can call it a safety measure. But like I said, my magic clip was open, now it's closed, and now I'm going to do a lot of different variations on whatever I have to do to get that line out. So You guys can watch me do that, and I'm also using my walls as well. I mean, my masters as well, I apologize. I'm using my masters too because they have a longer comb, so there are certain spots that I can hit with my masters that I can't hit with my walls. So you see, as you can see, I plug my levers. That's the best way to learn your levers by heart, is to play with them. And over time, you're gonna know them all by heart, so you can kind of get a feel and look at the fade and see which section needs what lever. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. You guys can watch me work on that, and if I see anything that I need to comment on, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Okay, I just want to let you guys know, as you can see, the majority of this video I'm going to be, as I fade, I use a comb. A comb helps space the hair out when you fade. I don't recommend using a brush. Now, there might be times where I use a brush to lay the hair down, but what the brush does, it actually bunches the hair together. That's why wavers use it, because it helps keep a uniform pattern. The comb actually spaces the hair out, which is better for fading, because it gives you a true definition of what that hair texture and how that hair grain goes. So the lower the hair, you can use a thinner tooth comb, but that's pretty much the tip on that. So try using the comb as you fade, so that way you can space and gap the hair out. Okay, so now that we pretty much got that first line out, it's time to move to the secondary line, or the more difficult line, to actually blend that hair in. I'm going to first start by thinning the bulk, and usually the rule of thumb is I'm going to put the guard on at the length of the top of the hair, which I use at the top of the hair. So right now I'm using the 3 first, and I'm going to come back with the 2. I'm just going to thin out my workspace so I don't have that much bulk, so that when I'm actually starting to fade the hair in or blend those 2 sections together, it won't make my job harder. So the main principles of cutting the hair is to make your job easy. A neater workspace is a better workspace, and it makes your job much more comfortable. You don't sweat, and it's less likely a chance that you'll mess up. Because as barbers, we all get into situations that we have difficulty with. So you want to try to make those obsolete. Now I'm coming back with my 1.5, and I'm still thinning. I'm making my workspace smooth and thinner. So just watch me do that. And after that, I'm going to come back with the 1, and then I'm going to switch the masters 1/16 and 1, so I can actually get that fade to blend in. But right now, I'm just thinning bulk out. You see, every few strokes of the clipper, I take a few strokes with the comb. And actually, right now, I'm doing the back with my masters, no blade, no guard, which is equivalent to a 1, because like I said, that comb is so long. You can see, watch the smooth strokes. You don't have to always take short, choppy strokes. Sometimes, see right there, I just did it because I was hitting one specific area. But long strokes help as well. So let's just talk about those. So longer strokes, they take off less hair because you're not sitting there digging at it. When you take short strokes, you're actually digging at that area, which is going to take off more hair or more volume of hair at one time. So longer strokes take off less, which is more of a thinning or debulking method, and short strokes kind of sit there and they take off more hair at a time. So it's pretty much whatever the situations require. Hair cutting, cutting hair is basically about assessing the situation and seeing what that one area needs at the time. If you can learn that and learn those keys and principles and use those as tools when you're cutting, I promise it'll make you a lot faster and it'll make you a lot smoother on your cuts and blends. I apologize about all the focus in the cameras doing the blurriness. It kept focusing in and out. But so basically, once you pretty much get the fade in there, a good primary fade. Because even after you get through with the haircut, you're gonna go back and hit certain spots to perfect certain areas. But once the fade pretty much gets in there, I'm gonna come back and clean the top up with the tool on top, and then I'm gonna get started on the edge up. So I just want to come back and check in with you guys and just tell you that once you get the fade in, I'm going to clean the top up. I'm going to edge it up first with the clippers, then come back with the razor. So I'll come holler at you guys when it's time for that. Okay, it's edge up time. So Isaiah has really dark hair. He has really dark, just real dense hair, even the baby hair. So you can put some spritz on there. I start with a nice edge up. Usually I go straight into the razor, but since it is a tutorial, I might as well show you guys how to do it with the clippers too. So this is just to start off. This is just a sketch work for me. I usually stretch that skin the same as I would with the razor to give it a nice 90 to 75 degree angle, depending on how the edge up is. You kind of always want to keep it over the top of that where the eyebrow raises, depending on where the hair grows. Because like I said, everybody's edge up is different, so you kind of got to conform to their head and to their face. So once I get a nice edge up set in there with the clippers, I'm going to come back with the razor. I just sprayed Isaiah's hair with water to kind of lay it down a little bit since it was so long. I never usually recommend dry shaving anyone. It also depends on the density of the hair, the sensitivity of the skin, but you always want to have some kind of lubrication on there. But I put a little bit of water on there to start the process off. Like I said, each situation is different, but always use something. Gel is a great lubricant for the hair. The reason why you use some kind of lubricant before you edge the hair up when you're using the razor is because you need to soften up the follicles of the hair so that the razor doesn't pull or snag on that skin, so it doesn't irritate it, leaving razor bumps or just leaving red irritation marks. So I pretty much did that, and then after we get that knocked out, I want to just come back and just go over the same areas, just neaten everything up, get those little small fine hairs. Okay, so now it's time to get started with the beard. So basically, he doesn't want me to touch the beard, the length. He basically wants me to edge it up. So I always fade the beard into the side. I always fade the sideburns in. I don't like well, me personally, I don't prefer the thick, choppy look. I think it makes it look fade smoother when you kind of blend it in a bit. So that's what I gotta do. I kind of blend it in, and I always hit the top of the beard, so that way when I edge it up, those hairs doesn't hang over, and it gives it a nice clean line. I leave it thick like the client asks, but I always neaten the top up, so that way when I come back with my razor, it's a nice smooth process. And that's what I'm gonna do. So basically, I'm gonna spray some water on the beard, because water is a great lubricant. Lubricant is universal. It's the first ingredient in almost everything, so you can never go wrong with water. I spray the water, I clean up the top of the beard, and then I come back and I razor. You see, I'm stretching the skin, but I always remember with the top of that line there, so I don't push the line down. The reason why I stretch the skin is because it makes a nice smoother cut for the razor and for the hair. You know, when you stretch the skin, you have a nice smooth surface. The skin is already rubbery. Skin in general is mushy, you know, so you have to stretch it to give it a nice smooth surface. I come back, I hit all the hair on top of it, above it or below his eyes, to give it a nice clean look. Even the hair that you don't see matter. So you always want to make sure your workspace is nice and neat. Okay, so now it's time for a little enhancement to make the cut stand out. No color, just the BARBER magic pencil. Don't really use color, but I like the magic pencil. It makes the edge up stand out nice and neat. The reason I'm fast forwarding because I already made a video on how to use the BARBER magic pencil. I'll leave the link below and probably in this video so that you can go check it out for a full tutorial on how to use that. And so after I get through that side, I'm going to show you guys basically clean up and fast forward the other side. And that's pretty much how you do a drop fade. So just check out the remainder of the video, and I'll be back if I need to touch up on some other things. I think I have some tips on how to lay the top of the hair down. Okay, so now it's time for some cleanup work. Basically, go back and knock those roach legs off, or those really small, thin hairs that hang up to give your cut a nice, neat look. I'm going to go back and also hit some spots in this fade, just to do cleanup work because I'm kind of a perfectionist, and the haircut is a representation of me, so I want to basically clean it up to make sure my transition is nice. That's pretty much how you do a drop fade, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something that was very helpful. If you need anything, let me know in the comments. Hit me up on Instagram at dwight04 or GameChanger06. And don't be afraid to like or subscribe. It won't hurt. It don't cost a dime. So I appreciate it. Let me know what you think about the video. Game Changer out.